I think that was his only option if he really wants to run, because they have destroyed Labour Party to the point that I'm not even sure they will be able to feed in a candidate. People are basically hungry, so they sold Labour Party to the ruling party so that they can stay afloat and be able to pay their bills. Peter will be moving out from the Labour Party to ADC, the coalition. I think that was his best bet. He couldn't have stayed in the Labour Party and contesting for election. So we'll see how the coalition goes.
You can't really blame Peter Obi for not being able to bring Labour Party together. It didn't start Labour Party. It left PDP for Labour Party because they offered him a ticket because they saw the following he was pulling. Labour Party basically leveraged him and they got what they wanted. And once some of those people that ran under Labour Party won, they defected to APC and so that they can continue to enjoy power. So hello everyone. Welcome to the Y&E podcast. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, do not wait any longer. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, share, and engage us in the comment section. So we're going all the way to Nigeria discussing Peter Obi now running for presidency under the flag of ADC. This is a coalition that was recently formed because they were not allowed into the current president's party. Or the people that fell out with the president created their own party, and here we are with ADC. So we're looking at his chances of winning 2027 under the ADC party.
If you have been watching or paying attention to what has been happening in Labour Party since after the conclusion of 2023 election, not just Labour Party, generally opposition parties, it looks like the ruling party has been having a field day with them. They have been, working tirelessly to ensure that, they dismantle them. That was why we saw the likes of Abure, the likes of Lamidi Apapa, with laying claim to the ownership of Labour Party and stuff like that. So in so doing, they did everything possible to push Peter Obi out. A lot of people have been blaming Peter Obi that he couldn't hold down Labour Party, basically manage Labour Party, that if he couldn't manage a Labour Party, how come he's asking for Nigerians to entrust Nigeria into his hands? I think that those are legitimate concerns, but however, usually in political parties, the highest elected member of the political party is usually the leader of the political party. So going by that, Peter Obi wasn't really the leader of Labour Party. He was just a presidential candidate. I think his defection, I think that was his only option if he really wants to run, because they have destroyed Labour Party to the point that I'm not even sure they will be able to feed in a candidate. People are basically hungry, so they sold Labour Party to the ruling party so that they can stay afloat and be able to pay their bills. Peter will be moving out from the Labour Party to the ADC, the coalition. I think that was his best bet. He couldn't have stayed in the Labour Party contesting for election. So we'll see how the coalition goes, but there are a lot of political bigwigs in the coalition. Atiku being one of them. Amechi is expressing interest to run. Peter Obi is there, and I think Kwankwa saw in few weeks from now will probably be moving into ADC as well. And a lot of those people, they are not quite, they don't quite align politically, although there is no political ideology in Nigeria. But if you have been following Peter Obi, you know that it looks like he doesn't align with those people politically. He doesn't hold the same value with the people that he has gone to meet in the ADC. And due to that, a lot of people are faulting him that, the people he criticized during the 2023 campaign, especially Atiku, he has gone to meet Atiku, and formed a coalition with Atiku. And that is the problem with Nigerian, political space. There is no ideology. People don't believe in anything. They're just looking for convenience, whatever that will be convenient for them to run for office. Otherwise, there's no political ideology. And I think that is a very bad political system we have there.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. You can't underestimate the impact of the current president's party on the internal turmoil in Labour Party and also in PDP. This is one of the main problems that is causing division in all these parties because allegedly the president's party, APC, paying some people um, in Labour Party and also in all this, opposition party to continue to cause trouble so they can make the party to be ineffective. You can't really blame Peter Obi for not being able to bring Labour Party together. It didn't start Labour Party. He left PDP for Labour Party because they offered him a ticket because they saw the following. Labour Party basically leveraged him and they got what they wanted. Once some of those people that ran on the Labour Party won, they defected to APC and, so that they can continue to enjoy power. Labour Party used him. He tried to use Labour Party, even though it could have been beneficial to both parties and also beneficial to the Nigerian people. It did fail because they didn't get enough votes to beat out APC and also to beat out PDP. But it looks like Atiku is willing to let the ticket under ADC fall to the south, and now it's probably going to be between Amechi and Peter Obi. And we know that Amechi cannot pull the numbers that Peter Obi is pulling. So we don't know what's gonna happen in the primaries. We don't know how it's gonna happen. But Peter Obi has come out and said he's not running to be a VP to nobody. So he's not gonna accept a VP nomination. All he wants to be is a president. So I mean, you can't have the president and the VP from the same region. So one has to come from the north and one has to come from the south. So maybe Peter Obi will be their best bet in ADC to be able to garner votes, especially if Atiku and all the structures in the north are going to support him. He might have a good chance to beat out the current president. We know the current president is putting really good structures in place, questionable structures in order to win. They've basically coalesced all the governors that were in the opposition party into the president party. So all those governors, they've been boasting, they've been promising that, hey, we're going to deliver our state to you. How that's going to happen, we don't know, unless they're going to do some rigging because almost everybody in Nigeria is feeling the heat. They're feeling the pain. Things are really expensive and things are not getting better. If ADC is able to get their stuff together, maybe they'll have a better chance of winning in a landslide so that the current president party is not able to manipulate the numbers and have them continue to remain in the office.
Yeah, I mean, let us be very serious. I don't want us to, to deceive ourselves. Even if you put a 20 Peter Obi in this time around, there is no way he will be able to beat Tinubu. Tinubu became president when all odds were against him. He wasn't in office. He didn't have anybody in power. All he had was just himself and his money and a few allies. And compared to now that he has a hold of everything, the INEC, the judiciary, the National Assembly, every arms of government you can think of is in his pocket. Most governors are on his side. If I were to advise anybody running against Tinubu in 2027, I would definitely tell them to save that time, save that money, save that resources, and then go gun for 2031 because I don't think there is vacancy in Aso Rock in 2027. I always tell you that I like Tinubu as a person, but I don't like his brand of politics. But it is what it is. We just need to be very, very honest to ourselves and not deceive ourselves. I'm almost 99% sure that there's no vacancy in Aso Rock in 2027.
So you don't believe Peter Obi can pull it off? You don't believe the ADC as a team can pull it off with all the structures in the north? I believe they can pull it off. And the reason I believe they can pull it off is that a lot of people are suffering. Peter B is going to be selling hope. Hope is a powerful thing. You can see that he's been able to galvanize the youth. Now the current president's team, they're galvanizing the people. They're doing their best, whether by propaganda or by putting out wrong information out there to let people know that they're truly working. We saw what's been happening with the insecurity in the north. We've seen what's been happening with the insecurity in the west, in the south. The economy is not getting better either, right? So that's why I believe it's going to be between the Nigerian people and the current Nigerian president.
That is not how election works in Nigeria. All of those things you talked about doesn't really determine the outcome of election in Nigeria. Prior to 2023, Nigerians were suffering. Buhari redesigned the naira. Inflation was at all-time high during Buhari's administration. People were basically suffering. That was when a bag of rice, I remember when Jonathan was in power, a bag of rice was like 8,000. Buhari took it to close to 20-something thousand to 30,000. And I always tell you that we Nigerians, we have a short memory. We are quick to forget, things. Yeah, and if you put a 50 Peter Obi this time around, the dynamics are different. The campaign messaging now will be different from what it was in 2023. Everything has changed. The 6+ million vote that he had, those numbers are not static. They are not there waiting for him. A lot of them, some of those people have unfortunately died. Some of them, Tinubu has been able to convince them. Some of them have lost hope in the electoral system after the glitch that they will not even come out to vote again. And some of them were disappointed in Peter Obi because he did not fight the election result, because people widely believe that he won that election. And a lot of other things that has happened in between that could have already, I'm thinking that would have already cut that number almost into two, because that number is not there waiting for him. And coupled with the fact that, people always say plus Atiku. If Atiku is not on the ballot, it will probably be difficult to convince, his people to vote for Peter Obi. And then we are not even sure Peter Obi is going to get the ticket, because if they conduct a primary election in ADC, there is no way Peter Obi will come out fourth position, because Atiku is a money bag. Nobody in the history of Nigeria will win Atiku in a primary election, including Tinubu himself.
I don't think Atiku is going to run in the primary, and I believe he's going to either remain neutral with the people that are running for the primary ticket. I mean, if you give it to Amechi, I don't think he's going to get enough support. I don't think all disobedients are going to come out to vote for Amechi. But if you give it to Peter Obi and Atiku put his support behind him, there's a chance that the people in the north might vote for Peter Obi. Look at what happened when Tinubu brought Buhari back. Tinubu convinced Nigerians, convinced the people in the southwest, southeast to vote for him, and they did it twice. And the last elections, you cannot dispute the fact that a little bit of tribal politics was involved, because a lot of people said, hey, especially the Yoruba people too, they say, hey, Tinubu's our son, let's vote for him, let's give him the opportunity. But now you can't tell me that a lot of those people will still go back and vote for Tinubu with all the challenges they face. You mentioned a bag of rice. It's gone up 3 times since it became the president, since they removed subsidy. Just as Peter Obi might have lost some support, well, I believe he has lost some support as well. I think the Nigerian people are really going to come out and vote for their interest this time. That's my belief.
A lot of people have this belief that the next election will be between, quote unquote, the political class or Tinubu versus Nigerians. It's not. The next election will be determined by the INEC and the judiciary. Let us not kid ourselves from history. If we look back, if history is anything to believe, it's almost believable that the next election will be determined by the INEC and the judiciary. Nigerian people has no say. In fact, if you don't have money, you don't win election in Nigeria. That was why Tinubu was able to obtain, that was why INEC was able to obtain the result of Rivers State. Till today, is widely believed, and they said if you go to INEC portal, Peter Obi still won that election. In fact, if you see the hard copy, the hard copy of that result sheet, you see a lot of cancelling, a lot of addition on that sheet. You see a lot of addition, you see a lot of subtraction, you see a lot of, correction fluid, correcting numbers, and you win election with money. If you don't have money, you don't win it. And the kind of Peter Obi is somehow that he don't believe in buying vote, or maybe his followers will buy vote, but I don't really see Peter Obi actively participating in vote buying. Like I said, you use money to win election. If you are not in government, ADC don't have any governor that will bring the money. They don't have any National Assembly member that will bring the money. Tinubu will probably be spending the federal government money to prosecute the election, while Peter Obi and the rest will be probably going to raise money or try to borrow money to prosecute the election. So it's a big difference. Tinubu will be using federal government resources, while his opponents will be probably going to borrow and then going to, solicit for funds and stuff like that. So in the history of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan was the only person that was successfully removed as an incumbent. And that was because of the insecurity, a lot of things that went on. The dynamics were different that time. But this time around, I can promise you that nothing. The only thing that will stop Tinubu from getting second time is death. Yeah. And let us know what you think about Peter Obi's defection from Labour Party to ADC. A lot of people have been having buzz about it. People have been calling him serial defector. But let us know what you think. If you were in his position, what would you do? Considering the fact that, Julius Abure and then Lamidi Apapa, they have sold the Labour Party to the governing APC government. What would you do if you were in his position? Would you have stayed in Labour Party and see if you can fight it out, or he did the right thing by porting to another party? Let us hear your comment and we'll be happy to engage with you.